This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland. Hello and welcome to Swiss and Chips. I'm Jo Fay.
And I'm Simon Sried.
So welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about buying train tickets, whether you live in Switzerland or whether you're visiting or have visitors.
Yeah, totally true. Everyone who comes to Switzerland asks, how do I get from the airport to wherever you live? Bern in our case. So quite an important topic. But before we dive in, do you have any update on the passport we talked about last time, didn't we?
Yes, exactly. The passport was quite a stressful situation.
Maybe first you should explain what exactly where we were and so on for the people who haven't heard the last time.
So in the last episode, I was explaining that time is ticking on my passport. There's about 3 months to go before it runs out. And getting it from abroad isn't as easy as I thought it would be. You could send it by post, and I was worried it might take too long. So I got my mum to send me an application form in the post. That's where we were last time.
Yeah, and the update?
The update is I have booked a slot at the passport office in London, and we are going to pick up the new one. We've done the photo, and we'll be picking up the new passport hopefully next week.
So no sending in, you go there to pick it up.
Exactly, yeah.
Great. That means also we go to London next weekend.
Yeah, we're going to London, and not just for the passport, but it's a happy coincidence.
Yeah, it's great. Looking forward. Your mother is also topic of our podcast.
She is
Tell
a little
us a bit more.
Yeah. So we're going to see her next weekend. She sent me the passport form, and she's also coming to visit us in June.
Yeah, cool.
Which is great. However, when people come and visit, there's always the question, how much money should I bring with me? Or, how much is this weekend in Switzerland going to cost? Do I need to remortgage my house or something?
Yeah.
The answer is generally yes.
Yes, and more money than you expect.
Yeah. But however, the first question is, how do people get here? After they've booked their flights, they're generally getting a train from the airport, for example. So I've been looking at what kind of ticket she should buy and if there's some kind of deal she could get and how much it will cost her. And I thought that would be a good topic for the episode this week.
And it's also quite an important point. We talked about this in one of the earlier episodes where we talked about the airports in Switzerland. Has to be said, it's quite different depending where you want to go. For example, if you visit or you want to stay in Geneva or Zurich, you might have a look that you already fly to that region because the train can get quite expensive. So maybe the flight to Geneva, for example, can be quite cheap. But then if you have to take the train like for 2 hours or something, then yeah.
It adds up.
Yeah, totally.
Basically.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you live in the country, there's a couple of things you can do to make your train tickets cheaper. So if you've just moved here, I guess the first question is, are you commuting to work a long way? If the answer is yes, then you're probably going to be buying a GA, Général Abonnement, as they say in the French-speaking part of the country. But it's basically an annual pass for the whole country. I think it's only worth it if you're commuting a long way because it costs 3,860 francs a year. And it doesn't add up if you just want to go on weekend trips, for example.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it depends how on your age. For example, I had the GEA during school. Yep. That was enough to commute on weekends because they are way cheaper then. But as soon as you are an adult, like 18 plus, and you don't go to school, so it's quite expensive. Yes, it's almost 4,000 francs a year. So I would say you have to commute to work, yes, like 4 or 5 times a day. You have to take the train, like half an hour plus.
Yeah, exactly. You can also pay it by month, and then it's 340 francs a month. So it's quite easy to work out if it will pay off or not, basically.
Totally, yeah. The advantage is, like you said, it's just you can go everywhere in Switzerland, and also, ships, for example, and cable cars.
Yeah, mountain railways are included, I think.
Not all.
But the cable cars are sometimes half price, for example.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
And boats, like I said. So if you come and work maybe for a year in Switzerland, I would, if you commute, it's good to have it because you might want to go on weekends because you can really go everywhere in Switzerland to all corners.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
It's great. The kind of cheaper option that most people go for, I think, is the Halb Tax, the half fare card, and that costs 185 francs a year, basically. And I think most people we know have one because it enables you to buy half-price train tickets. Basically.
Yeah, it's totally true. Even most people who have a car have a Halb Tax as well, because I think if you only go like twice a year with a train to the airport, for example, then it's already cheaper to have the Halb Tax because the train tickets is so expensive. So half price is really a good thing, and most people I know have it, yes.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, can you? Obviously, you can also buy weekly and monthly passes for specific routes depending on where you're going.
Yeah, but
prices vary.
Yeah, totally true. But it's weird. Have you ever looked up the prices? Because that's super expensive. It's not so far less than GEA, for example, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Maybe it's not 3,000 or 4,000 a month. It's maybe 1,500 or whatever. But it's already...
Per year, yeah.
Yeah, it's already so expensive. I always think it's like... Yeah, and you can only go one route.
Yeah, who wants that?
So, yeah.
Okay. Basically, the Swiss Federal Railways, the SBB, they have an app where you can buy all the train tickets. It's also available in English, which I think is very nice. Local transport companies also have their own apps too, and where you can buy tickets just for that city, for example, and it can be cheaper to do it like that.
Yeah, it can, but doesn't. I think if you manage to take a ticket, then yeah. Because with the SBB app, you're already quite fine. But there are other apps. There's also this new app. Now I don't have the name.
We can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we put it in. I will look it up. Where you just say like before you start, you press like the start button, and then it tracks you all the way. And with the GPS, and when you get off, you say I'm off, and then it just collects all the trains and stuff you took together
and gives you the best option at the end.
Gives the best option, and that's I think the cheapest way to go. You can save a bit of money if you want that. We put that in the show notes.
Great, I'd like to check that out.
No, you won't. You will always forget to stop it.
Yeah, that could be a problem. True, and trying to explain
least that's my fear.
Trying to explain that in Swiss German to the ticket inspector could get tricky. So only for advanced train users.
Oh, and also you said the SBB app. That's a really quite a nice app. But I think if you move here and you're not sure which ticket to take, especially for the GEA or Halb Tax or Streckenabonnement, like routes tickets, I recommend just go to the train station like everywhere else and ask at the counter.
Yeah, and it's actually quite fun. You know, those travel centres they have at the big train stations. You go in and you select what kind of inquiry you have. If you have a bit of time on your hands, let's say, it's quite fun. If you're in a rush, it's not. And then you go and talk to the person at the counter, and there's so many different things they can explain to you.
Yeah.
If you like trains,
I make a confused face for the people who can't see me.
Okay. There's also ticket machines, which are quite straightforward, I think, if you know where you're going.
Well... Fun story.
Yes,
to
please.
Make a small circle. I used to work with a person, a really nice guy, who worked with the people who developed the software to go on this machines. Yeah, and it seems to be a very difficult task, and I made fun about it because it's so complicated. You say it's pretty straightforward, but I think if you have to know where and what and which, but compared, like, for example, to England, it's similar-ish.
Yeah, like I said, if you know where you're going and you're not in a sort of a
and you know which ticket you're having, you have the Halb Tax or the GEA or not, or dog or not.
Yeah.
By the way, and also, okay, maybe we spit off topic, but anyway, did you know if you take a bike with you, you have to pay another price for the bike, a full ticket?
Well, that I found out, I think, when I had a bike on a train once.
Isn't that, how is it in England? Is that also the same thing?
Ooh, I don't think I've ever taken a bike on a train in England.
I'm sure it's free, isn't it? Just...
You know what, I don't know, but you'd be pushed to get a bike on a train in England most of the time.
Okay.
Because of the space issue.
Okay, I see.
So
yeah, the thing is, in Switzerland, it's you buy a full price for a train ticket, and let's be honest, we talk here, for example, if you go Bern-Zurich and the way back, how much is that? I don't know.
100 francs or something? Full price?
Both ways.
Isn't it 50 there and 50 back?
Maybe, roughly something like that. So 100 francs, and then that's how much in pounds?
Oh,
like
I should look at my
something.
Conversions before I get here.
And then,
about £70, I think. Maybe a bit more.
Imagine you pay another £70 just to take the bike with you.
Oh no, that's not on.
And the thing is, you don't pay anything if you put it in a bag, because then it's your luggage, and luggage is for free.
And the same with a dog.
Is it?
I don't know how much a dog costs, but you can buy an annual pass for a dog, I saw today. However, if a dog fits in one of these carry dog bag things, I think it's free. But if your dog is too big, you've got to pay some kind of ticket.
Anyway, so that's why you see loads of people with bags, with the bikes in their bags. So they take it apart outside the train, but it's almost the same size, but just to get it free. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Right. So.
Anyway, so tell your mother not to take a bike.
Or the dog.
Yeah, or the dog. Or put both in the bag.
Yeah, bring a big bag, Mum.
Yeah.
So the good thing, though, is that if you know that you're travelling on a specific date at a specific time, you can get one of these cheaper saver tickets. For example, Basel Airport to Bern, I saw today, will cost about, 45 francs one way. However,
without Halb Tax.
Yeah, that's full price,
yeah,
no discounts.
Then with Halb Tax, it's like 22 or something.
Exactly.
Like half price.
Half price. However, I saw that there was a saver ticket available, which would only cost 9 Swiss francs.
Is it?
That's an incredible discount. But you can only buy them a few weeks in advance.
Oh, okay. It's like, I think
They're
there are limited, exactly. So if first come, first serve.
Exactly. Don't bet on it, but if you get lucky.
Yeah, the thing is, also, for example, if you travel late at night or something, you can be lucky and be a bit cheaper.
Yeah, that's great.
But has to be said, I never ever, I think, had one. So.
No, me neither. But it can happen.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. Otherwise, I think the interesting thing here is that the train ticket costs the same all the time in Switzerland, whether you buy your ticket weeks in advance or 5 minutes before you leave. Sort of regardless of these saver tickets. The point is, in England, you have to buy your ticket far in advance, otherwise it becomes extremely expensive.
Yeah,
There's no kind of nice set price like in Switzerland. You know it will be 22 francs to the airport with your half card.
I think it's because it's,
It's because it's privatised, possibly.
Yeah.
That's another story for another day. There's also, it seems, quite a few different types of rail passes for visitors to Switzerland, all different varieties of Swiss pass, depending on where you're going and how many days, and to the airport or not. And so far, they haven't been sort of good enough value for money for any of the visitors I've had. But I imagine for someone at some point they could be, because they also include free entry to museums.
Yeah, and if you travel throughout whole Switzerland, you have also these day passes.
That can be bought, So there's a few different options out there. And basically
just check out the website of the SBB, I would do.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of research, and you need to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And then you can figure out which ticket you need to buy. And there's also the Interrail pass as well, which is, you may know, is kind of famous for students travelling around Europe, basically by train. Interrailing, we call it. But you can also buy them for Switzerland.
We also call it Interrail.
Aha, nice. That's good to know. And that's a kind of bit more flexible. For example, you can buy them for 3 days travel within the space of 1 month, rather than consecutive days. Yeah. So that can work out quite nice.
Yeah. Basically, to give a summary, go to the SBB.ch, and there you find all the information in English, and do your research and look a bit around. Yeah, if you travel, for example, to Italy, has to be said, I think you can't book it on the SBB, or can you?
No, you can't. You have to go to the ticket office.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
It's true.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that might be a problem. And it's cheaper to buy it. That's also interesting. If you go, for example, to Italy, it's cheaper to buy the ticket in Switzerland for Switzerland, and then in Italy for Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's for pros.
Advanced rail users only. Beware.
Yeah, is there any tips we can give for general train usage in Switzerland?
Ooh.
Don't put your luggage on the seats, please.
Yeah, don't put your luggage on the seats.
Don't put your feet on the seats with the shoes on. But
Yeah.
if they're off, you can do it if no one is here.
Yeah, but don't take your socks off. Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
Top tip. What else can we say? They have a very nice restaurant on board on Swiss trains. That's quite exciting to go to.
That's really nice. And it's not so expensive like you might expect. Well, compared to other restaurants, it's not like super expensive.
I think it's quite nice and sort of in an old-fashioned, elegant type way.
Especially if you go for a longer ride. And also if the train is full, you might have a chance to sit there.
Exactly.
So,
you
have a
also just
coffee
go
or
there,
something.
sit and have a
that's
drink
nice.
and feel very elegant as you look out the window sipping a glass of champagne
true.
or who knows what.
And also trains are very much on time, has to be said. Like, you can really, they are...
You can count on them.
Yeah.
No problems.
And
Sometimes late.
And
rarely.
every day compared to England, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Also on Christmas and every day.
Ah, yes, that's true. We don't have trains on, Christmas Day and Boxing Day.
That
when we
was
went
a surprise.
When we went to London last year, I knew they didn't run on Christmas Day, but I'd forgotten about Boxing Day. And it's really this sort of panic moment, Christmas Eve at about 5 p.m. or something, when you're thinking, crikey, am I going to miss the last train out of London for 2 days? And we went to the information service and found out the last train was at about 8 p.m. And, miss it and you're walking home, basically.
That was a
That was a shocker.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even expect that, like in third world countries. So
yeah, things can only get better.
Yeah,
or something.
No, so it's 365 days a year in Switzerland every day. Yeah.
Thank you, Swiss Federal Railways.
Maybe it's on Saturday, Sunday, a little bit different the time they are the departure time and how often they go and stuff, especially the buses. But yeah,
you can rely on them.
Yeah, true.
Good. So full steam ahead. We're off to London next week.
Yeah.
And we'll report back afterwards.
Cool.
In the meantime, if you want to get in touch, don't forget that you can send us a message on WhatsApp. You basically need to save our number to your phone, then send us the message. The number that you'll need is 078 915 3959. You can ask a question, get the latest episode, or just tell us what you think.
Yeah, totally. Also, you can go on our website, obviously, and leave a comment, tell us if you like it or not. Or also, what would be really interesting to hear is send us your suggestions if you want to hear any topic we talk about.
Fantastic. Thanks for listening.
Bye.